So back in those days, I came out and I spoke about narcissism. 4 years ago, I told people that narcissism is spiritual. I was one of the first people who came out. And I told you narcissism is spiritual. So there were some people who didn't believe me that time. Some people thought maybe this guy was joking. What is this guy saying? Some narcissists came around on my channel. They attacked me because they thought, I don't know, maybe I was, a lot of things. I stuck to my word. I refused to change my perspective because I had my reasons, very strong ones. There is empaths that wake up and when they decide to speak their truth, people come around and gaslight them. Oh, probably you're the narcissist, or probably you don't understand this whole thing, what is going on. So a lot of people will come in with their psychological terms and everything. I appreciate that area of narcissism because we have eventually got a lot of, we have found ways to describe what narcissism is, at least even on a medical or psychological level. But personally, there was things that I would see that would defy human logic. The greater narcissist had about 4 or 5 faces. So there was a face for social media. There was a face that would go to bed. There was a face that would go to parties. There was a face that would just linger around the house, doing nothing. So there was a face for different occasions. And I was starting to understand that I'm not dealing with a regular person here. I was figuring out, I'd awakened. So, when you awaken, it's like you have gotten out of this old paradigm. This thing allows you to see things in a much more clear way, because it's not like you're not like a sleep person who used to see things differently back in the days. You are seeing things this time much clearer. Things are clear. Maybe you don't really figure out some of the details, but there is much more clarity when you're dealing with these people. I would see a lot of these faces. Then I was thinking that, was it me or what wasn't I getting properly in that time? I couldn't really figure out in those days. But eventually I figured out this person was a narcissist. And I was on my way, okay? There is so many empaths now. They are starting to understand that they are dealing with entities, There is many empaths are starting to realize and figure out, understand that what they are dealing with, it has nothing to do with these so-called NPDs and everything. There's always a spiritual way to understand this thing. The moment you understand what narcissism is on a spiritual level, I've told you guys, you are going to heal to that degree you've never seen before. I used to have a lot of people back in the days. They used to come on my channel when I was starting back in the days. It may sometimes take a while to catch up on my videos. A person might come and watch the first one. What is this man talking about? Densomos, what is he saying? Narcissism, this. They may not really figure it out. They may come for a second video. They may not catch up on it, but they will come for the third video. Then they will get it. So my videos, probably they're not the videos for everyone. Maybe it's not everybody who is ready for this kind of enlightenment. It's very, very deep stuff, So these entities are operating behind the scenes. And I've told you, there is very many narcissists around the world. They don't even know who they are. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When the narcissists wake up one day and they are going to figure out who they are, they go through an awakening. One of the most shocking awakenings that will ever happen to a narcissist is one day waking up to their narcissism. So this whole thing of NPD, wherever they may get that information, whether it's online or they may go for some sessions with therapy, whatever, and they may sometimes figure out they are the narcissist, that is the icing on the cake. That will be the icing on the cake because, of course, they're going to go into therapy. And the therapist will tell them that, you guys have been dealing with this NPD. But that's just the icing on the cake. But the very moment the narcissists will understand the spiritual attachment to narcissism, those people are going to get the awakening they've never seen before. You guys really believe that the empaths wake up? Yes, we wake up. Of course, we wake up out of this abuse and everything. But the narcissist wakes up one day and they figure out the entities attached to their narcissism. They're not going to sleep in that night. So these things we talk about narcissism, we are very, very, very serious. Very serious, deep. We are very deep. So for me, my motivation to break empaths free in the beginning, having seen what I had seen, I was like, no. Something has to be done, There was something had to be done. Because I realized, for me, one of the secrets, actually, that I figured out that broke the trauma bonds faster was, for me, understanding the spiritual element of narcissism. When I had figured out what was the spiritual attachment to narcissism, that is the moment I started healing straight away. Because, when you figure out that you're dealing with a spiritual entity, you know that this war, this battle cannot be fought on the physical plane. You already know that. You have got that conviction that the battle that you've been fighting, or you are still fighting, is not going to be fought on the spiritual plane. So the people who are fighting with this NPD, they are fighting it on a 3D plane. So they are dealing with this thing on the 3D plane. You know what I mean? They can just go along and go along with this theory that, yes, okay, so it's NPD, so there's a personality disorder, whatever. So then they are handling it on the 3D plane. Narcissism was on a very higher plane. It's more than beyond the 3D plane, this physical reality that we see. These entities attach themselves to these people. So somewhere along their journey, these narcissists, they surrender. Maybe there's something they have been doing over the years, a lot of these traumas attached to problems, I don't know, whatever they have gone through. And they surrender to these cycles. And that's when they open themselves up to that frequency. So when they open themselves up to that frequency, which is a very low frequency, that is when these entities, they now attach themselves to these narcissists. So the original soul of the person is gone, The original soul of the person is gone. So now you have an entity, you have a zombie. This is a zombie. But these are zombies which are a little bit advanced. They are like the zombies, not those zombies we see on TV. So these are like the zombies who can still put makeup on their face, go out there in public and fool the world. That they're very good people, everybody should see them in this image, they are very nice, this beautiful, but whatever. They can always hide these, they put on these masks. So they're just zombies with a mask, They are zombies with a mask. When you want to see that zombie, abandon the narcissist. Just abandon the narcissist and let the narcissist... Even the easiest way to do this, just unplug yourself out of their lives. Lock them in the room 2 days. Maybe 24 hours. Just abandon the narcissist. You're going to see. For a lot of you guys who have been hearing a lot of these abandonment issues and everything, you want to know who a narcissist is. Abandon that body. Abandon the vessel. Just leave them in one place in that same house. You don't have to lock them up. Put them in the house and lock the house. Remove the phone from them. No visitors, no TV, no Wi-Fi. You're going to see. Go and check up on those people in about 2, 3, 4 days. You're going to see those individuals. You will not be able to recognize their faces. So for a lot of you guys who always want to understand what I'm talking about, You abandon the narcissist even for 24 hours, you're going to see that their face has already changed. Their face is not the same that you left it. There is another, something else that has taken over. You can barely recognize them. After a week or 2, 3 weeks, they may die. They're going to start decomposing and they're going to die. So this thing is serious, ladies and gentlemen. Narcissism is serious. You know, these are entities, okay? They are wearing these masks on the 3D plane, you know. You've got these family members, you've got these brothers, sisters, you've got your dad, it's very, very painful. Sometimes when you talk about, even for me, sometimes talk about these things is very painful, you know, but sometimes somebody has got to talk, you know. Somebody has got to say something. And the fact that this whole thing has been hidden from society, you know, every now and then we have been suffering. A lot of us, many people have reached the age of 50, 60, 70 years, whatever. They have never heard anything about narcissism. It's just now they're starting to wake up and figure out what narcissism has always been all about. Nobody was saying nothing. Their teachers never told them anything. Their parents never said nothing. They were sleeping and eating and walking around with a narcissist all their lives, and they never even knew about it. A person at 60 years, you can imagine, their entire life has been spent with a narcissist. A zombie. So these creatures, there is moments when they shift, you know. There is some moments when they are going to shift. They will be shifting from one look to another, from one mask to another, from one appearance to another. They can even shift the entire day 6 times. Me, I was with the spiritual narcissist, so I know these shifts. When I'm talking about these shifts, I know the shifts I'm talking about. I would be dealing with almost 4 different types of people in one day. And I didn't sometimes even know which one was which one. The person on the social media is not the same person in the bed, is not the same person in the morning, is not the same person in the afternoon. I would be dealing with different people and I wouldn't understand what I was dealing with. And then you're coming around and telling people that they're dealing with the personality disorder. So the entire thing of narcissism is very deep, you know, is as deep as we can imagine. And it's very serious. The moment people will understand these entities, the moment they will understand these entities, do you know the reason why? The very moment you snap out of this narcissism, do you know the very reason why these narcissists start to run away from you? You know the reason why they're even avoiding you. Even sometimes you have not even told them anything. They are going to start detaching themselves from you very fast. They are going to run. They will not call you. They will not come around to your house. They are going to disturb. Yes, they will stalk you. The stalking always happens. They'll keep on coming around to monitor what you're doing, whatever, driving by your house. They are going to first of all run away from you. The very moment you snap, that is because you're snapping into this dimension where they almost feel like you can look through them. And they cannot handle that embarrassment, so they run away from you. The very first thing, I remember doing a video, why the narcissist has gone silent. You guys can go back to my video many years ago, 3 years ago. One of the reasons when you awaken, the narcissist knows that you can look through them. Even sometimes they know that you can see them. These entities, we're not talking about the narcissist on the 3D. These entities, they know this is an awakened empath. We have no business with that person. They're going to run. They can no longer come and confront you face to face when you are awakened. Because for the very first time, you know even on a spiritual level what you've been dealing with. So for them, an awakened empath is a very big problem. You know, it's a very, very big threat. I don't know anybody that can break down a narcissist like an awakened empath. Those guys are going to break a narcissist without even touching them. So that is what the most powerful empath the narcissists are afraid about. The awakened one. They can fool around and play around with the sleep one. The one who is sleeping doesn't know who they are. They are still in their bed. The bulbs have turned on. That empath is very dangerous. There's no narcissist that wants to deal with that kind of empath. Even when they come in and they want to date you, and they figure out that this person is awakened, they probably know who they are. They're not going to come back the next day. They will ghost you straight away. They will refuse to date you. For a lot of you empaths who are wondering why you're not going into relationships, you're awakened and you're trying to get into relationships. These are these entities you're meeting. Sometimes they're trying to come in for relationships, but they're coming in, they're figuring out this guy is awakened, they'll ghost you. They're going to ghost you. They'll not come back the next day. They're not going to come back for the next appointment. They will disappear. That is how powerful is an awakened empath. They know the spiritual element of narcissism very, very deep. Even they most likely even know the narcissist more than they know themselves. Because those empaths have been wrestling with they have been wrestling with these entities for years. They know their game. They know how they sleep. They know what they do. They know what kind of food they eat. They know each and everything from A to Z. They have been wrestling with these entities for years. So there's nothing you cannot tell them that they don't already know. Awakened empaths. Narcissism is spiritual, ladies and gentlemen. Understand this. A narcissist can shape-shift to different entities. You may see 10 faces in a day. For the awakened ones, we can see. The ones who are still asleep, maybe they're still blind to this because they're still at these blinders. But the awakened ones, we can see these entities. When you meet them, you will know. So, it's spiritual warfare, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Drop us a comment and let us know what you think. If you have seen these things I'm talking about, you guys know that I do love and appreciate your support. Book a session. Donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.